Hello folks, this is Jeff from the Junkyard Kid YouTube channel, and I figured today we'll do a little bit of an introduction. I've had this YouTube channel for a while but haven't really done much with it, so I figured an introduction might be handy since I want to start adding more content. Let's start out with the name, Junkyard Kid. Easiest way I think to explain that is we'll start by showing you this picture. And that is where I grew up. Actually, there was a salvage yard prior to that. We had to move, but this is where I grew up from 78 until I moved out. And also worked there 10 years. My dad's old salvage yard. So I figured the Junkyard Kid name would be a pretty cool one. Working here for 10 years was a great foundation for the restoration business that I currently have. Learned a lot from my dad. He also was a die-hard car guy. And as you can see, there was a lot of stuff there. Unfortunately, most of it's gone now. We'll get into that some other point. Local paper did do an article about it. The end of an Etzel era. Because he also became a huge Etzel collector. At one point he had over 200. A lot of them were salvage yard type cars, sold a lot of parts. And now, since he has passed, I guess I would be the world's largest Etzel collector, since there's still about 175 left. But anyways, that's enough history for right now. Let's take a walk in the shop here. Kind of give you a little short tour. This part here is what I call the old part of the shop. This is where I started back in 2000. And we can show what we got going on here. 65 Rambler Marlin we're working on. Not doing a full makeover on this one. Customer brought it in, had a pretty severe fire under the hood. If you look on my Facebook page, I just posted a picture of a before and after the engine bay, and it was quite the transformation. So this will be heading down the road probably in about a month or so. Got the engine over here, freshened that up. Actually, it was a different engine I picked up from my dad's old yard. This is a 327. The old one was a 287. And yes, 327 was not only a Chevy displacement. Rambler actually had it first. And then over here, pull the cover off. This is another one that we're working on. Now this is a Chevy engine. 400 cubes. And you can kind of see a clue already with the headers and the air hat. This has a pair of turbos on it. That'll wind up going in a 79 Camaro that we've been working on for a customer. That project has been on the shelf for a few years, but customer is now back in a position where he can start sticking some more money in it. And you will see that coming up in the near future, probably sometime this spring or so. Another car I got here, and this is my own. This is a very special one to me. Not only because of the rarity, it's a 56 Ford Crown Victoria glass top. I think they made it as either only 603 or 605. But the cool part to me is the fact that this was my folks' honeymoon car. Not something a lot of people can say, that they own their parents' honeymoon car, and that it was a cool car like this. But hopefully going to get back to working on this thing here in the next year or so. Use it for something other than storing shipping materials on. My dad was good for that too. He had it stored away for many years and kind of started collecting stuff on it. So I'm trying to avoid that characteristic, but it's difficult. So we'll walk over here. This is the newer part of the shop. Added this on in like 2010. And over here we got another project that's being worked on. 70 Plymouth Road Runner. This is getting the top to bottom in and out project work over. We've done some work on the underside, added some stiffening to the chassis. It was a 440 car that now has a stroked 440 to about 505 cubes. Going to make a little over 600 horsepower, which nowadays ain't as big as it used to be, but it's still plenty. We'll have a 5-speed Tremec transmission. Got the Dana 60 rear end here. QA1 coilover setup in the rear. And we also have the QA1 coilover setup in the front. So I certainly will look forward to test driving this one. Got the air grabber hood there. Tyler, the one guy that works for me, did the paint work on this. A fair part of the body work. A previous employee by the name of Noah had done a lot of the groundwork, I guess you could say, until he decided to move on. But it's going to be a beautiful car. The color is not plum crazy. It's kind of a modernized version, I believe. It's called Hemi Violet Metallic. I should have some additional light. You could see the sparkle in it. It's pretty awesome. And we'll kind of show you back here. There's something I want to show you. And let's kind of give you the finish up with the tour. There's more storage area. Got the mix bank there. We can custom mix pretty well any colors. And some fabrication stuff here, bee blaster. But we got this engine here. Y-block guys will know what it is and appreciate it. 312 with the factory 2.4 setup. I do have the carburetors and everything. This will go in that 56 Crown Victoria glass top. It's an engine my dad built for it back in the 80s. And those of you that knew him and was at his salvage yard would remember seeing this thing hanging on a steel I-beam by a vice grip. It hung there for about 30 years, so it worked. And I'll probably pull it back apart and freshen it since it's been hanging so long and just kind of look things over. I don't think I'm gonna have to do much to it other than just kind of a cleanup. But anyways, that's kind of the, I guess we'll call it the nickel tour. And you guys stay tuned. I'll be putting up more content of what we got going on here as things move on. Maybe share some videos of some of our older projects and things. And some stuff out in the East Yard, which is where I call the collection of Edsels that I brought over here and some other vehicles. And just have a good time. So until next time, we will talk to you later.